A woman in her 40s named Alice is engaged in a heated debate with her staff at the print shop of a fashionable glossy magazine, convinced that the color of the cover appears markedly different when viewed on a screen versus in real life. The man is confident that no one will notice this discrepancy, and his team is already weary of the constant need to redo the designs. However, Alice, who is on a business trip to Brazil, discovers that her boss only communicates with Liz and even took her out to dinner with high-profile individuals. Alice boards the plane and discreetly places a large stuffed parrot on the seat in front of her. Meanwhile, a passenger notices that his seat is taken by a stewardess who escorts Balthazar, a businessman, to first class and seats him next to the heroine, who is trying to avoid a man with red hair who offers her dinner after they land in Paris. Throughout the flight, the man entertains himself, making it difficult for Alice to concentrate on her work. As the plane encounters turbulence, Alice becomes anxious. Balthazar attempts to soothe her, but then the lights go out, causing Alice to panic. She reaches out to the man, who comforts her. Upon landing in Paris, Alice is about to disembark when the man thanks her for a nice flight and calls out her name. Unexpectedly, Balthazar realizes that the heroine has left a flash drive on her seat. The man tries to retrieve it, but is stopped by the seatbelts. Meanwhile, the main character encounters her companion Elizabeth in the vehicle. Alice presents her daughter with an oversized stuffed parrot. Balthazar chases after the main character, but is unable to deliver the flash drive he discovered. The individual is then taken by his father Luke, who arrives in a high-end sports car on the journey. Elizabeth persistently suggests using the heroine to arrange a date with Richard for dinner. Alice declines, expressing her discomfort with the idea of associating with a physician. Alice ends up at the workplace where the two girls talk about her not having been in a relationship for 7 years. The office secretary tells her that Alice is receiving a call from Mr. Apfel regarding a flash drive, but she is unfamiliar with the last name and chooses not to answer. Alice visits her employer and is upset to learn that Liz has been appointed as the new editor of the magazine. Vincent reveals that he was impressed by the young woman's zest for life, suggesting she could engage the audience, as well as offering her a position as an editor at Fireplace World magazine. Vincent believes this is a wise decision, given that there is less workload, allowing the main character to spend more time with her family. Alice rejects this offer in the evening when her former spouse Julian comes to pick up their daughter on a moped, after which he receives a neck massage from the main character. The main character is still looking for the missing flash drive and reaches out to Mr. Appel. Balthazar answers the call and suggests they meet at the pub. He's there when Alice shows up, and the person she's with introduces her to his buddies from the architecture field. The colleagues from the heroine team are taken aback to see her at the pub with a young man. After finding out the flash drive is at the man's place, Alice proposes, not wasting any time there. Balthazar volunteers to ride there on a moped and secures a helmet for the heroine. Her colleagues snap a photo and share it on social media, expressing their amazement at the sight. Back at home, Balthazar introduces the heroine to Luke and his new partner, who turns out to be Anissa, her classmate from school. Luke asks the heroine to give his new ad campaign a thumbs up. Alice is taken aback by how crude the ad is, but admits there's a bit of it in it. Balthazar discovers the flash drive in the room and hands it over to the heroine. Leaving Balthazar, she nervously suggests they catch up for a cup of coffee or something else. However, Alice declines, stating that it's not her thing. The following day at work, Balthazar notices odd glances from her coworkers. The secretary reveals to Alice that she's been seen with a man on a moped, which surprises her. Vincent is thrilled by this revelation and encourages her to keep up the good work. Alice's coworker and friend, Simon, advises her to join Balthazar at a party. Alice takes his advice. The next day, the heroine shows up at Balthazar's college in a refreshed look. Alice tries to act more chill and suggests they grab coffee later. Balthazar begins discussing a test, but quickly changes his mind, saying he's free and would be happy to see her. Back at home, Alice hears from her daughter about contemporary bands in the evening. She meets Balthazar and takes him to an exhibition. Alice's coworkers openly judge the man. When the exhibition host asks for his thoughts, he admits that people aren't interested in his art because he can't solve his personal issues. Alice resolves the issue, but mentions that honesty isn't always welcome in such places, as talented artists often struggle to afford exhibitions. The man is impressed to see Alice again. Meanwhile, the protagonist's friend reminds her of a dinner with the doctor, prompting her to concoct a lie about her daughter's appendicitis. Balthazar arranges a taxi for the evening at Elizabeth's place. Throughout the evening, the protagonist displays a bit of arrogance. However, her health deteriorates, and the condition becomes apparent to everyone present. The following day, the protagonist decides to reintroduce Balthazar, this time introducing him to Vincent, who is wearing an extravagant dress. Alice takes Vincent to a fashion show where one of the models falls. Vincent assists her. At the party after the show, Vincent invites Alice and her date to a later engagement, but Elizabeth's probing questions make the heroine escort Balthazar away, dancing with him. However, the date reveals to Vincent that Alice is merely staging an act, and it's not a serious relationship. Meanwhile, the heroine notices her daughter's friends and suggests that Balthazar escape. The man offers to drive Alice home. Afterward, Alice quickly returns to the apartment and hears a knock on the door, revealing Balthazar. Realizing her daughter is not there, the man kisses Alice and accompanies her to the bedroom. The next morning, the heroine is anxious and attempts to distance herself from Balthazar, but the rain prevents her from doing so. Alice notices the man has lost a shoe and improvises by placing a bag over his foot while she goes to purchase breakfast. Balthazar discovers a book titled An Island Without an Ocean and inquires about it. At that moment, Alice's daughter returns home. The main character introduces Balthazar to her friends as her assistant and guides him out of the building. Before they part ways, Alice says sorry for the incident. At the office, the heroine confides in Balthazar about her day. Alice notices strange symbols around the house and discovers a man hiding under a bench. Balthazar advises her to ride the moped instead of questioning the driver's destination, to simply enjoy the music and scenery. Alice spends another night with the man the following day at work, where she acts oddly and stands up for Liz when she returns home. She ponders over the idea of revealing the truth to Balthazar. During their date, the man invites Alice and her daughter to a seaside cottage for the weekend. The heroine suggests to Balthazar that they slow down, to which he agrees, admitting he feels joyful and content since their encounter. Suddenly, the heroine mentions that they won't be able to engage in wild fun until late at night, or do silly things like in her younger days, due to her responsibilities as a mother and a professional. Alice is concerned about the significant age gap and believes they have a considerable age difference. The heroine suggests that Balthazar should stop seeing her and go back home. Alice looks longingly out the window. The following day, Simon is distressed to find out that their relationship has ended with Balthazar, who is happier than ever with the woman, hoping she would admit that she set up the relationship for career reasons. Otherwise, he would have been seriously hurt by her response. The heroine is saved by Vincent's arrival, with news that her latest article has been a huge success. At school, Alice finds out that her daughter had a dispute with a peer after the latter played a video of her dancing with a young man. Julian offers to help the heroine talk to her daughter about the situation, while Luke and his girlfriend leave for Bali, leaving their son behind. The father mentions that when he was Balthazar's age, he also dated an adult woman, but later moved on to younger partners. Alice goes to work and is trying to impress her boss by selecting a model for the upcoming issue of the magazine. Tracy suggests Balthazar, who she saw on the show, would be perfect for the photo. Alice attempts to dissuade the woman from her plan, but Vincent reveals he has heroin in the hallway and cautions that such actions could lead to her termination. Alice exits the office and contacts a man, but Balthazar ignores her call as he's engrossed in watching TV and indulging in unhealthy snacks to deal with his recent breakup. Upon returning home, Luke is shocked by his son's state and instructs him to take a shower when Alice comes to the door. The man offers the stranger his t-shirt, claiming he's the one who consumed all the alcohol. Following his breakup with his girlfriend, the heroine discusses the opportunity to appear on the cover of Star with Balthazar, who becomes furious and storms out, believing it was a reference to their relationship. On the day of the photo shoot, Alice secretly tells her bosses that the man won't show up. The heroine decides to reveal this to Vincent, but just as she's about to, the secretary notifies them that Balthazar has just arrived. Luke bids his son farewell and wishes him luck as he heads to the dressing room to get ready for the photo shoot. Suddenly, Simon appears and apologizes for fabricating the entire story. Balthazar is confused and requests more details, to which Simon confesses that the heroine was with him for work. Balthazar arrives at the location and gives Alice a kiss in front of the crew, signaling the start of the photo shoot. The photographer, however, acts in a very disrespectful manner towards everyone, leading Balthazar to leave. Alice chases after him, and in front of the crew, he accuses her of being a traitor for betraying him for her career. Vincent, the director, decides to let the lead actress go. Alice packs up her belongings from work. At home, she discovers Balthazar's shoe and occasionally listens to his recorded messages on the audio player. Alice decides to reconcile with a man and visits his college, where she is mistakenly thought to be a guest lecturer. The heroine confesses her mistake to Balthazar and promises to do whatever it takes to earn his forgiveness. The couple rekindles their real-life relationship. Alice releases a book titled The Shoe and continues to live a fulfilling life with Balthazar. This marks the conclusion of the film.